So I don't know. Here we are. It's back. We'll talk about that and more right after this. It's been a good show, folks. Thanks for joining us. We just had
a pre-show.
We cover a lot of ground in those 60 seconds.
We really do.
It's gosh.
It's something else.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
realize that was going to be such a revelation. Nobody else has ever considered that possibility.
Today we talk about interventions.
Well, you got to say what you just
Well,
said.
I just said. So I think it has to be in context. So Chris, you have to tell yours. First,
Yeah, so,
because-
yeah. So I have this underlying fear because I have Alzheimer's and dementia in my family that's going to happen. And so I was just saying I pray about that often because I don't want to live by fear. But the fear is that I'm going to end up saying things that are not who I am or who I've ever been, that it's going to come out because you watch TV or you read things and it's just buried in your psyche as this garbage that's going to come out of your mouth later in life. So anyway, that's a prayer that I give over to the Lord. Like, Lord, don't let me live in fear of that. So anyway, Will said,
I just said I have a concern that I perhaps went insane years ago and no one will tell me.
to which Lauren and I said, well, actually, since you brought it up.
Well, Lauren almost fell out of her chair for some reason over that.
And so all of you that have been wanting to have this conversation with Will, we're inviting you to the intervention scheduled for 2 p.m. today.
Oh, why just make it 8:30? Why put it off?
Airing of grievances.
Well, we want you to have time to stew on it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Isn't that the worst, though, when somebody's like, hey, I need to talk to you. Let's schedule
Later.
later.
I hate
Like,
that. It's
so,
the worst.
Like, no, sit down. We're talking now.
As a pastor, I will take that later meeting, but I will not leave it ambiguous.
Yeah,
Greg,
that's
what
a
would
good
you like
call.
to talk
There
about?
you go.
Can I have a format?
Yeah, there you go.
9 times out of 10, it's a good conversation. But as a pastor, you've had some bad ones, and so you don't leave yourself, wondering for a
sometimes
week.
might be a good idea to have another
Beth.
person in the room.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think as a human, you've had those bad experiences, conversations, and I think that's one of the an evil thing to do to somebody.
Oh, it is.
Say.
Yeah. If
we
you
need to have, we need to talk.
especially if it's more than 24 hours. But even if it's 4 hours, it's awful.
Sleep on this?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
that's
Never
the worst.
mind.
Yeah, so it's kind to tell somebody what it is you'd like to talk
Did you guys
about.
see Beth's comment? We were well-meaning, Will.
Okay. I appreciate that. No, I missed that comment. But
And a good
I
morning waffle.
understand
It is the last day of the third summer. I call it fifth summer.
I understand.
No,
It comes
Will, it
from
was
love.
so funny because you said it in such a like serious way.
Oh.
And then it just was hilarious because the way
He was really fearful.
he was.
You never know.
Am I?
That's like a
Is that
classic,
me?
like
Thank you, Beth.
your friend lightly opens up to you and you're just like, bah, ha, ha.
Which is exactly what happened. Yeah.
Sorry. Will, you've not gone crazy.
How would you not know? I mean, that's the thing, though.
Well, you're crazy. If you're like the insane person, then you don't know. You
Well,
don't know.
That's what they say.
By
is
definition.
that if you are worried that you are crazy,
The first step that you're not.
it's the first sign that you're not.
I think I forgot to share this.
If you're worried, well, you
The pre-show was so good.
I got distracted hee-hawed.
I guess.
that-
Well,
that-
I've heard that, but how do you know that that's true? That might just be part of your
man.
delusion.
That
You
might
never
be.
know. See?
That would be just weird. I don't
But you
what
know, on the
else to
offhand,
say.
you'd be like, okay, all right.
All right.
Most of those people are pretty happy.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
well, it
I mean,
depends.
oblivious
It
is
depends.
Yeah.
It
happiness
depends.
often.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
And ignorance
I don't
is
know.
bliss.
Ignorance
Tis
is bliss.
folly to be wise. The entire quote.
Well, it is the week of Halloween, and I cannot
Oh, my
believe
goodness.
it. What in the what?
Well, it doesn't feel like it because it's been.
I played golf
summer.
yesterday in
Yeah.
a skirt and a t-shirt. Come on.
I don't have to brag about it.
I know. Well, hey, I don't get to play golf very often on Monday mornings.
At least we don't have to mow the yard.
Well, it's
Actually,
the
I
chamber
do need to mow
tournament.
my yard.
Maybe
I've been
more of
watering it, trying to. And we're
what-
supposed to get a bunch of rain, so I need to mow tonight so I can get some fertilizer down.
Well,
I probably need to fertilize.
I need to winterize.
I've had my sprinkler soaker hoses going.
Yeah,
for
I've had
the
that on my
last several
garden.
days.
My garden's still doing great. Tomatoes and peppers are killing it.
I
Isn't that
think the trees
crazy?
are hanging in there, although one of them clearly was attacked by deer.
Oh, I'm
Those
sure.
deer-
Stripped of leaves.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like 2 little leaves on top.
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
deer.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that at this point in the year it's
I know an exterminator.
had enough.
I got,
Yeah.
I got
Well,
my first one down.
I've been forbidden from shooting the yard deer.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
too bad. And those
Maybe
are the
we'll
ones.
pet deer.
Those are the ones you need to shoot.
So
If you want
so
trees.
I think it's funny that
you
the way
want
you
trees.
spell dimension is like
Dimension.
demented as opposed to dimension, D-I-M. So
Yeah.
well played, Beth. That's
Oh,
all
she
I love a
is
good
cheeky.
punny. Yep.
I do love it. Love it.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I had a thought and it's lost me. I don't know what it was.
Well.
Well, you got better share your thing.
Oh yeah, hey, I did.
So we don't leave it.
You can't see.
Look at
it.
this.
So I will read it to you. Logan Rogersville FFA Booster Club Craft and Boutique Fair this Saturday, November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Logan Rogersville Upper Elementary School. So right here in town.
Fun.
Homemade crafts, boutique items, sweets and treats, so much more. There's a lot going on here that's not on the flyer. If you go to their Facebook page, Logan Rogersville FFA Booster Club on Facebook, and you're probably on Facebook if you're watching this, so it's a short walk.
They could be watching on Roku,
Yeah, I think
or
that-
YouTube.
Roku.
and-
we've got options. YouTube, X, you could be watching us on any of those. But anyway, you go to their Facebook page, Logan Rogersville FFA Booster Club, find out more about the event this Saturday,
Hey,
9
look at
to 4
that.
p.m. Bring the whole family.
That's cool.
Face painting, all kinds of fun stuff.
Santa Claus is going to be there too.
If you need more information, contact us here at the studio at our phone number.
That's
Love it.
awesome. That's cool.
Yep, good deal.
It's a good time. Lots of
Shout that
yeah. We're
out.
moving out of the fall festival
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
We're going to be into the Christmas stuff.
This is a short Christmas season. Have I talked about this?
How's it
Yeah,
short?
you
There's
mentioned it to
only
me.
27 days between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's the shortest.
Oh,
it can
because
possibly-
Thanksgiving's
it's
later
late.
this year. Yeah, yeah.
So we
yeah.
have a unique Christmas setup. So I think even more you'll have, before Thanksgiving, you'll see that
That-
full-blown
That's,
Christmas Festivus.
That's
Yeah.
sad news.
Yeah.
It's just sad news right there.
It is. I mean, we just haven't had fall yet. I mean,
No.
we have all the fall stuff is done, other than
a little bit here and there.
Halloween. Halloween this week.
Well, I think if you adopt and say we're going to consider Halloween part of the holidays, then you can take
Yeah, I had
whole
that thought
3
the other
months.
day.
Just, the whole fourth quarter is a holiday.
I had that thought the other day. I think Halloween has kind of transitioned into the beginning of the holidays.
agree.
I'm not saying that Halloween and Christmas are on the same level because they are not.
I'm not either.
But
It's like a kickoff event.
it's
is what
like
you're
a
saying.
ki- it's
Kickoff
like-
event.
I
yeah.
think I've always felt that though,
Yeah,
because then the next day's November, and it's always been like, okay, now
we're going.
we're going
revved up.
because November is it's holiday mode now.
It's holiday. It's Festivus.
Or of course Reformation Day, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Reformation Day,
But
October 31st.
though I was going to say though, I played in the chamber golf tournament, which
yeah.
is
Yeah.
So it was fun. I had a good time.
I always forget about it because I'm not a golfer.
Yeah,
me neither.
yeah. We had a good time. I played with Laura Doherty and
Is she a golfer?
Jess Barnes. She plays golf.
So-
Jess Barnes is a golfer.
She's. I learned this sitting behind her at football games. She's into.
She's
sports.
intense. Yeah, she likes sports.
I could see her being
She's intense.
a competitor.
Laura's a season Chiefs ticket holder.
Yeah, I
season
knew that.
ticket. I don't know if I said that in the right order, but yeah, she's
Yeah.
into it.
Chiefs
Absolutely.
season ticket
Season
holder.
ticket holder. You
Season
got it
ticket
right.
holder. Yeah. So she's into it. And I think like her husband doesn't go and she does.
Yeah, he's not into football. It's hilarious. So I sit behind him and like he could care less. He's like, "Is this over yet?" And she's just like, "Let's go."
Laura's in.
She's not quite that rowdy.
She's a neat lady. So we had a lot of fun.
He turned around and looked at me and was like, "Do you want to sit down here and you two can just talk football?" Because Shayna doesn't care. We're there to watch Maddox dance, you know. But
She designs a good house too.
She does.
Yeah.
Super talented architect.
how about that?
Another one of those talented Rogersville people.
Amazing.
A lot
stuff.
of them.
We're all
Good
over
stuff.
the place. Yeah.
So, but we had a good time. Played with Jess Barnes over at Southern Bank. Jess is a great lady. And Dustin, who works over at Southern, who comes to our coffee group, his team won. I won longest drive for female.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
It was fun. We had a good day.
We did a fundraiser last night, a little
how'd
competitive.
that go?
It was awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah, made
It's a good idea.
$200 going to Safe Haven, and
Good.
Wes McNew and Nathan Matney won the first Storytime Coffee cornhole tournament.
Nice.
So it was actually a blast. We had a
I
good
bet.
turnout.
Great
and,
weather for it.
Well, we actually did it inside because it was so
'cause
windy.
You wouldn't know. Oh, yeah.
And we had a good
Might have a
inside
shift
space.
in the bag as it
Yeah,
goes through the air.
yeah, I don't know if you would, but
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy. But anyway, it was a blast, and it was fun. Really, I just had a great time with that, and hopefully we can build on that and maybe do a couple of those a year.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
You know, I could donate to you the fundraising event that we used to do. We used to have rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Oh, I remember when you used to do that. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
what?
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
What's Lizard Spock?
Well, it comes from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I watched Big
made
Bang, but I don't
popular.
remember that.
Was it there before?
it was
Oh, I
around-
thought they.
yeah.
Okay, I thought
There's
they
another
did
guy
it.
that came up with it. Yeah, I used to be able to tell you how it all worked, but it's
But is
yeah.
My problem is I can't do the Spock thing.
it hurts. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. What's
Rock,
Lizard?
paper, scissors, lizard,
Lizard.
Spock.
Yeah.
Spock is hard.
I would never be able to do Spock. I'd be like, they're
I've
always.
got-
Scissors,
I've got
cuts,
golf
paper,
club
paper,
hands.
Well,
I
I've
can't do
got
that.
trigger finger in this. And
Mine are golf club hands this morning.
Yeah.
Cuts paper, paper covers rock, rock crushes lizard, lizard poisons Spock, Spock eats. Let's see, Spock. I forgot.
I'm just not nerdy enough for this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I used
Will.
to
I
have
just
it.
can't.
I don't
Just
know.
can't do it. Anyway, that was fun.
Spock vaporizes rock.
That's good.
We actually this weekend we had at Story Church we did Skip Day, Serve Day.
Oh, nice.
So we hadn't done
Very
that
good.
in a while, and we're going to get back to doing that a couple times
That's
a
a
year.
great thing to do.
Yeah, just a reminder that we're more than our gatherings on Sunday morning. And so they showed up. We worked for 3 hours. So we had a crew at Safe Haven Fordland
Good.
building shelves in their back.
Yep.
And then we were at Safe Haven Rogersville. They've acquired that car wash.
Oh,
And
I
so
don't know
old
if I
car
knew.
the old
Maybe
car
I did know
wash.
that.
And so that is going to be the new thrift store.
Great.
And the current thrift store will be their food pantry.
okay.
And so, exciting new thing.
very
Whereas
exciting.
they've created a partnership with the Ozark Food Harvest.
Breakfast
so,
diner.
not Breakfast Diner, but they are going to have an expanded ministry in that. So we were there. We scraped VCT tile off the floor, and
fun.
we sanded and whatever. So we had a team there, and then we were at the park as well.
Good.
There was a section of chain link fence that was all. It looked like somebody drove through it.
Probably.
So we replaced that, cut down a couple dead trees
Great.
over there by the baseball field, painted the benches for the dugouts.
Nice.
So the little t-ball players and baseball players won't get splinters on their butts. And the scoring
It is,
tables. So anyway, we had teams all over Rogersville and Fordland on Sunday, and
That's
got
wonderful.
a ton of work done in 3 hours. It was a lot
What
of
a
fun.
great service
Oh,
on
you know,
Sunday.
the dog bone over here that had the weeds just growing up in the
Yeah,
gravel.
yeah.
We pulled all those weeds.
Good for you.
Did you fix the
'cause
sign out front?
We
too?
didn't fix the sign, but
the gravel was a bad idea.
I'll tell you what, though. I had somebody yesterday, a salesman,
Yeah.
but he was saying, hey, I can put up this sign here, and then he pointed that one, and we can do something there, too. And I was like,
If we owned it.
Well, and that was a wake-up call to me that people still associate that sign with our plaza, but we
100%.
don't own that big sign.
Yeah,
And so
they don't. Why would they
it makes
associate with
it
something
made
else?
me angry all over again that
Yep.
That's
that
fair.
people probably assume that Story Church just is not caring or taking care of that dilapidated
true.
sign.
Well, and I mean, I've told people before as I'm talking about that sign and trying to get somebody to do something about it. I mean, to some extent, that's that's the face. this is
That's
the
what
face
you
of
see
people
when you
coming to
drive
town,
from
and our
Springfield.
teeth are all knocked out.
I know, and we
it's
have gone to the
terrible.
city, and the city rightly has said we can't do anything about it. We don't own it. I would like to see a little more pressure there, but but the new developer needs to do something ASAP.
And I guess that's who owns the sign now. It was a little frustrating for me during that period of time when we had the city and the county pointing it at each other, going, "It's not our sign. It's not our sign."
But now that the
it belongs to
developers
one of
purchased
you.
it.
Well, and then Greene County was more than happy to take the money for the sign when they sold it. So
Right.
it's like, oh, I guess you did own it. You
Yeah.
just lied to us the whole time.
Oh, 100%.
So
Yeah, it's tricky. Well, and the interesting thing that's happening with the development, because they've now listed the first couple of homes plans. Obviously, they're not coming out of the ground yet, but the roads and stuff are there.
All of it's there.
They've just now
Structure.
listed the first. I'm going to call those pre-listings, where
Right.
you're developing a subdivision and they start. Here's some plan options, right? And it's not a specific house, but it's like these are some of the plans.
A, B, and C, right? Yeah.
all right,
So
answer-
currently they're showing 2 plans for this part of the
so
subdivision.
The question is, what are they?
How
priced?
much are they?
How much are they?
The
What
two
are
that are
priced
on there right now. I said that really weird. The two that they're showing right now, one is like 250 and one's 272.
Okay, so they're not just selling the lot. They're selling, you're buying the
built-
lot, and
You're-
here's the house we'll put on it.
Yes, and
Okay.
it's Trendsetter, which is not the original people who bought this development.
Right.
So I don't know who owns what at this point. Trendsetter's been building
They probably
in Republic for a long time. Well,
probably
all over,
partnership
but
somehow.
well, that's normal. You'll have somebody go in and do the development part or buy the land, and then you'll have a different builder
Prepare
get
the roads
interested
and
in it.
yeah.
And I mean, that's happening in a couple different places. But so the first house plans were put out there that are now listed on the
Yeah.
MLS, and they're
So realistically, 12 to 15 months, there could be some homes going, or
I
like
mean,
moving in.
sometimes it could be 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
I mean, usually when they start posting those, could be 12 months. It just depends.
I bet there's something up in the summer.
Yeah, I'd say 6 to
Like
8
move-in
months.
ready.
Yeah.
I would expect that they're trying
That's exciting.
to have houses ready to hit the market in spring when people go house hunting.
And I mean, they're
Well, I
they're
think people
very
are already
much
house hunting.
entry level price point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that's what they are.
Yeah.
So
It's shocking, $250,000. That's our entry level
Yeah.
price point.
It
Yeah.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I mean, when I moved back here, what was that, 18 years ago?
Yeah.
That was kind of your next tier
yes,
house,
absolutely
not
was.
your entry level.
Yeah.
That was your second home.
Yeah,
was
'cause
your
that's what we
kinda
were
250 to 350
looking
where
for,
you're
yeah.
where your second. You moving on up, right?
Yep. Yeah, it felt like
And-
big time.
and now
going over that
that's-
200 threshold.
Yeah.
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 Sheesh.
I know.
a
So,
deal.
Yeah.
but yeah, so they post them. But
Speaking
yeah,
of
that
the
is-
economy, looking forward to next week.
Oh, is something happening
what's
next
next
week?
week?
I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to try to go today. Well, I'm assuming you've already voted.
No, I'm going to go on Resurrection or Reformation.
Reformation Day. Yeah,
Yeah, I have to be over in Marshfield.
Are you just going to tack it to the door, or you
Yeah,
gonna put it in the ballot
I'm
box?
going to get my ballot. I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to nail it to the door.
I declare.
These are my 99
They're like, oh,
theses.
there's Will. He went insane years ago, and we all just keep up the roots. There's Will.
Please keep it up. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
If there's
I'm having too much
he
fun.
has like keepers that are behind him, like sweeping things up as
You know,
he goes.
here's the thing.
His path of
crew.
destruction.
That's true though. I
That's
really,
probably- he's got a team.
I really do have a team of people going behind me cleaning up the mess.
That's
But
my
he knows
family
about them.
and staff.
That's right. Some of them are paid. Some of them are
They're not.
Some are bound to me.
Some are both.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, goodness.
It's the deal.
Oh, I know. I think everybody, though, at this point is ready for this election.
Well,
But we're not going to know that. We're not going to know Tuesday night.
Yeah,
No
right,
way.
Darren. We hear you.
We're not going to
I'm
know
with you,
Tuesday
Darren.
night.
Yeah.
We're not going to know.
Well, I don't know though. There's at least on the presidential election, there's some scattered reports coming out that because of the amount of pre-voting and in states and swing states where you are a registered Republican or registered Democrat, they can go, well, we've had these many ballots come back from Republicans, these from Democrats.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
really
saying,
interesting what we know ahead of time.
yeah,
Don't
they're
you-
saying, we could have a good idea on election day how it's going to turn out.
Here's
because
my
of all the early
question.
voting.
Well, you're dealing. What
you only have to-
what was the vote? Sorry, what was the vote 4 years ago? Was that 100 million? Is that right?
I don't have any.
Oh no, it
No.
was like 160.
160. Okay.
50
Because I think
maybe.
I read last week that 30 million have already been cast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
here's
like Joe Biden allegedly got 70 some, and
Okay,
Trump
that's
got
right.
70
I couldn't remember what
How
the official numbers
do
were.
they count the vote? Is the vote at what point is the vote tallied?
Not till election day.
Okay,
But they know
how many.
They know a Republican ballot has come in. They know a Democrat. from a
Sure,
Republican
because they
voter-
hand you those.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they only need to figure out who won about 7 or 8 or 10 counties in the entire United States.
Which is bananas.
To know how the election is going to turn out.
That's
'Cause
true.
there's-
It's bananas.
You've got 7 swing states, and you've got 1 or 2 or maybe 3
Metro
counties.
areas in each of those.
states
Yeah,
is going
that's
to
right.
determine the outcome of that
Oh,
state's
gosh,
election.
this chair almost broke.
Well, they're 3 years old. Maybe.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Maybe it's time
that's
for
okay.
some new chairs.
The
So
structure's still firm. It's
You
just the
can
handrails.
Donate to the Morning Waffle to purchase new chairs.
That's funny.
That was frightening. Thought I was going down.
I'm going to take it all. It would make for great TV.
Go full on Cosmo Kramer. As I go down, the mics go down. The whole table flies.
Okay, I got a new conspiracy that I'm going to ask you guys about that
Yay.
just occurred to me this
let's
morning.
go.
Okay, we're currently all getting a lot of political calls to our cell phones, right?
Hey, not my cell phone hasn't rang once.
Well, we know, and spam calls, okay, and I mean spam as in they're not just the trying to sell you something; they're actual like spam calls where they're saying your Google business profile has been deactivated.
Yeah.
To reactivate,
great.
blah blah
the
blah.
police are on
I
their
get
way
emails
because of
on
your
those a lot.
unpaid tax bill.
Okay, so I get those all day long. My number's a very public number because of my job, but
Yeah, me too.
So I get those typically from about I'm going to say 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
How do the spammers know that I live in Missouri and they should only call me between that time? How come we don't get those phone calls all night long?
Oh, and that's not a conspiracy.
You are. Hey,
They know
Beth,
everything.
You're right. The back of the ballot sometimes does get missed. And in Missouri, we don't have registered as Republican or Democrats, but a lot of other states do.
Yep.
That's what they're relying on for those early predictions.
Yep.
No, but think about
Same
this
thing
a
with
little
like
bit.
exit polls, but now we just have it way sooner.
It's like an interest.
the
Yeah.
the guy in whatever weird like foreign country that is sitting there doing this all day long, they'll know it's a Missouri number, right? But why are they not doing those overnight? Because people are more likely, I think, to answer a random call in the middle of the night, right?
Middle of the night or like evening?
No, I'm saying all. Why
Like 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.? Think about that.
Well, they've got you patterned. You have a digital footprint.
I know I have a digital footprint, but these are just throwing it out to the masses. They're not researching people before they call them because they're
I bet they're set. Those are set to go out at X, between this time and this time in these regions or in these time zones.
But like I said, why are they not going overnight? Because I would be more likely to panic answer a call in the middle
I
of the
see what you're
night
saying.
than some.
Yeah, but how mad would you be at whoever called you in the middle of the night?
But why does it matter if I'm mad at them or not? They're scammers.
I'm mad at them anyway.
Think about this
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit. To me, it seems like when you really start thinking about it, it seems like they're almost given a pass during the day, but for some reason it's absolutely not allowed at night. But if they cannot allow it at night, then how do they? Then they're
Well,
allowing
if
it during the
they're
day.
scammers, I'm
Does this
assuming
make
they're-
sense?
Well, if they're scammers, I'm unconcerned. I'm assuming they're unconcerned about the law.
Yeah,
about
they're
what they can and can't
immoral
call.
parasites anyway, so
Which is why they wouldn't mind calling you at 2 a.m.
that's fair.
So think about this a little bit. Like, why?
Darren said he'll call you at 2 a.m. to help you out.
Thank you. I appreciate this, Darren. We'll have a good
I don't know.
I'm going to
conversation
call you
at 2
tonight
a.m.
at 2 a.m. Be like,
I'm assu-
Lauren, I've been thinking about what you said. Here's my theory.
No, seriously, like let it marinate a minute. Like let it marinate.
I'm,
Think
When I
about
mow
it.
the yard later tonight, I'll give it some thought. It'll hit me.
I'm assuming that they probably know what they're doing.
The bulk of it's they
Figured it
use it
out.
by area code, and they
Yeah.
know the time zones of the area codes, and that's when they call. But I think that there's some nefariousness here. I think that there may be a certain level of allowing of spam
I was wondering
calls.
what you were saying because you said,
Do you see what- does it-
yeah.
am I
well,
getting
I've got
the
a
point? Is it
conspiracy.
making
Well, I was
sense?
trying to figure out what your conspiracy was, but
My
you're
conspiracy is
you're
for
thinking somebody's
I think what she's
colluding
saying
with the
is that-
spammers.
that there's some
Hunter Biden is on
collusion.
the board of a Nigerian phone company.
100% he definitely is.
And he
But
saved 10% for the big
am
guy.
I going to get
the
sued
big guy,
now?
whoever
Dang
that
it.
is.
So I'm just saying, like, like I said, let it marinate a little bit. Just
right.
let it stew
I'll put
on
my
it. Think
tinfoil hat
about
on
it.
later, and I will think
We
about it.
watched Signs. Speaking of tinfoil hats, we watched Signs over the weekend. Great movie. It's a great movie.
Oh, wow.
What?
So, Lauren, I wanted to commend you on you made a post
Oh yeah.
about the amendments.
Yes. I've
And
made
I-
2 posts.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe I didn't see your
You can-
latest one.
either one's fine.
I want to commend you on that because I hate deception
Oh, me too.
and
Oh,
intentional deception.
Yes.
And so I think you're calling out something that's really important because the way that amendments are written. So I remember my first voting experience.
Yeah, I do too.
I was unprepared. I knew I
Yes.
wanted to vote for like our senator and for the president, but I was shocked at how many things were on that ballot that I was uninformed.
I'm shocked
You
every
didn't know there was a
time.
reading comprehension
Right.
section on the test?
Yeah, and so I remember first trying to read it, trying to make sense of it, and then coming to the conclusion, I can't cast a vote for these things because I'm uninformed.
Yeah.
And what's sad is I know a lot of people don't take that and go that direction. They go, well, I think this is what I want, and they vote, or I hope I get this judge right, and they vote.
Yeah.
And so,
The judge thing is always whoa.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I've learned over time to go in prepared, but man, the level of deception,
Oh my.
not just in writing these amendments, but then the ads that come out.
Disturbing.
And I will say, I'll even call out my Christian brothers and sisters in Christ, because I think it's equally deceptive to say, okay, yes on Amendment 3, allows abortion up to 9 months or whatever. While I know that to be true in principle, I want to call out Christians to say it the right way. Right, because it
I
doesn't
agree.
actually say that it's written this way, but you need to
Not written that
clarify.
way. Yeah.
Precedent has been set that it will be allowed to move the goalpost to that end, and that is a true statement.
Yes.
And that's how, because we are people of truth, we need to speak the truth when we come against
Amen.
something. So
Yes.
I will speak against Amendment 3
Yeah.
and say the door will be left open for this, and because of history, they will push it that far.
Yeah, the difficulty is a lie you can usually get out in about 3 or 4 words. The truth takes significantly
Takes
longer.
more time.
And some
but
deeper
as
thought,
Christians,
yes.
we're committed to that,
Oh,
right?
100%,
So
yeah.
we speak truth into deceptive situations, but we don't fight lies with lies.
Hyperbole with hyperbole.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We
yes.
well, it is really, really complicated. And I know it's easy to say it's not.
tough.
I know it's easy for people to say it's not complicated, it's yes or no. I don't believe that in my heart.
Yeah, be intellectually honest. Let's talk it out.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this. Let's talk about the depth, the ramifications, the layers involved in this.
Yeah.
Because I understand how people can say life begins at conception. This is, in essence, murder. I understand how people can say that. I understand how people can say women have a right to choose what happens to their body. I understand that too. There is so much between that point and this point that is not being discussed.
Yeah.
But you do, words matter.
Yeah,
My goodness.
words matter.
Because
The thing is, it's been discussed for how many years are we at now? I mean, 80 years?
72.
Okay,
Yeah.
72. So
22
20. Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, how many years did you say?
I don't know.
Yeah, you said 22.
Well, I'm 53, so
Yeah.
52 years. Unless it was 73. And then
Yeah, anyway, for the better part of a half
a
century,
little over 50 years.
we've been...
Okay, Darren got us going. The lies are one of the worst aspects of the political system. It's protected speech, but is fundamentally wrong. No one can make an informed vote while being decidedly misinformed.
Yes.
100%.
So
yeah, that's the problem.
I have really, really serious concerns because I knew what my opinions were. I had some conversations with people on different sides of the aisle before I read both. I had read the Missouri law before. In fact, when Roe v. Wade got overturned, it's real easy. You Google abortion law in Missouri.
Yeah.
And it takes you immediately to the state's website, .gov, mo.gov.
RISMO.
There you go. It takes you immediately to that.
Reviser of statutes.
And you can read the statute yourself. That's one of the first things I did when Roe v. Wade got overturned, because Missouri had a law, the current law was triggered to become
Yes.
law.
Yes.
Okay. I read it then. So I hadn't read it in a while. I don't retain all information that I read. Mind blown.
Will's got it memorized, so it's okay.
And I had some conversations with people when I was getting ready to decide how I was going to vote, because that's usually how I have to do it on amendments and propositions, because you just never know how they're worded.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some conversations with people on completely opposite sides of the aisle that were somewhat intense. I said, okay. I read the amendment. I actually downloaded it because the ballot language is pretty significantly different than the amendment.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and read the Missouri, is a statute? Is that what it is?
Missouri statute.
Okay, but you have to read the statute. Mm-hmm. And then guess what? There's a second step you have to take. You have to go read the definitions. Mm-hmm. Because words are used in the statute that are then defined later, and it's a little harder to find those.
Yeah. Usually before. They usually define things in the first
Well, maybe it
part.
just
maybe they did it
kicks
wrong.
me.
Maybe it did differently.
You know how it
this time.
searches? It may have just kicked me to the wrong level. Okay.
Yeah. Either way.
So I did that. Off of those words, I formed my opinion, not off of the two conversations or several conversations I had with other people.
What a novel idea.
Exactly.
Read the statute.
And this is why I'm commending you, is because you've done the hard work. You've looked not on the surface, you've dug in deep. And this is Amendment 3. I'm really passionate about. I mean, this is a huge no for me.
Yeah.
Because I am
It's
pro-life.
understandable, yeah.
Has to be.
It breaks my heart, though, to think of how many yeses will be cast from pro-life people that won't understand the bill. And the finality, the level of finality that this amendment will have, because it'd be incredibly difficult to reverse this.
I don't think a lot of people understand that too.
Another 50.1%.
Guys, I have read
would reverse it.
I have read, because it's not the first paragraph of the proposed amendment. It's the second paragraph. It's labeled 2. And then there's the paragraph. I don't know what the first part is. It's probably just legal jargon. The second paragraph I have read 10 different times now, and
to try to understand it.
I cannot tell you what it means.
Yeah. And
I'm not joking.
That's what I mean when I say the level of deception.
And I cannot tell you what it means. Read it. Read it out loud. Read it to someone else.
Have a lawyer read it to you.
Have a lawyer read it. And I keep hearing the words thrown around, women's health. I've read it. I don't see the word women or woman in there a single time.
Well, we know why.
So I just am, and I've read the Missouri law, and it's not perfect language either. And I don't want to say it's not a perfect law, because I don't want to just say this is my opinion on this. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the language, how it's written.
Yes.
Deception. We're talking about the language, not how I'm
Deceptive
voting.
When you
language.
think about the language of statutes, you have to understand that there's two problems. Is that language is crafted by a bunch of people who are not lawyers, and the other problem is it's crafted by people who are lawyers. And so both of those create their own unique
by a lawyer.
set of problems when interpreted. Because, I mean, a lawyer will write a statute that is extremely well written from a legal perspective, but nobody else can understand it.
Right.
You know, and then you have somebody that's not a lawyer that writes a very understandable statute, but doesn't have the training and twisted brain to think through all
the little minutiae ways that this could be manipulated.
Twisted brain.
Unintended.
Those are the key words.
That's the purpose of law school, is to bend your brain up so that you don't think like real people.
Correct.
Anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we really don't.
And
all the workarounds, right?
I will say the Missouri law is pretty understandable. It's pretty simple.
As it stands.
As it stands,
right now.
I do say that. And again, we're talking about the language, not how I am specifically voting, because I am a lawyer's kid.
Right.
I look into these things a little deeper, as I should have. You know, there was lots of conversations with Dad. You know, you need to know what you're saying and know what you're reading. And the language of the current statute is much simpler and specific. I do think there is issues with that particular one that the majority of voters possibly take concern with, because there's some language that is not in that. Mm-hmm. And that is the rape and incest.
Yeah.
But again, And I don't want to get into an abortion debate. I just want to get into a discussion of the language because it's concerning.
Yeah, we've been debating that for 50 years. That's my point. And so it's not like we're just digging all this up or it's new. It's just the fact that we have things that are being written and potentially becoming law that are just, they're unclear. And quite honestly, they're just deceptive. They're lies.
Well, I got into a conversation on Facebook and with somebody. They were advocating a yes vote on Amendment 3. And, I stick to really relatively 2 or 3 talking points on anything I've got, which one, on that issue is I am incredibly pro-choice. I just up to the point of murder. Other than that, you can do anything you want. And so I always recoil at the ad hominem personal attacks. You just hate women. You want to do this. It's like,
right.
No.
It's so frustrating.
I missed that last comment there.
Mischaracterization. That's not what we're going to do. We're just saying even pro-choice for reasons. 100%. It's incredibly radical. So we stand on that, but then we get into this whole women can't get health care now because this doctors can't do an abortion that's medically necessary. And you go, no, read the Missouri statute.
Right, that's another lie.
Allows it now.
For medical emergencies is the wordage.
Talking to this gal, and she's like,
verbiage
wording.
First, it was my friend had an ectopic pregnancy, and her OBGYN wouldn't treat it, so she had to go out of state. Then it became, I had so I'm not sure where it landed, but I'm like, ectopic pregnancies, you can totally treat them in Missouri, and there's whatsoever. And I had an OBGYN pop in and say, everything Will said is right on that Facebook comment.
I do, and I kudos to the doctors who are posting on, and I haven't seen them on the Amendment 3 support side, but I obviously function in a circle of people where I'm only going to see certain things.
Yeah.
I have seen a local OB make some fantastic comments.
Good to hear. I want to know who that is. I may need to talk to them.
It's been we'll find. So but I do want to say this, and this is the God's honest truth. I've had 2 children in the Springfield healthcare system. I have spent plenty of time in OB offices, and I had a medical situation last year that I openly talked about. We have a crisis on women's health care, and this is probably all health care, but I'm specifically going to speak about women's. It is difficult to get into the doctor for these things.
Yep.
I had a very specific problem. I said, I really need to see my doctor, and this was midsummer. Well, we don't have an appointment available until January. Can you wait that long? So I had to switch doctors to get seen. Then that doctor left the state of Missouri, and I had to switch. And at that point, it was risen to a surgery level, and I was able to get back into my other doctor when there was an emergency. And I have sat in the OB offices waiting for hours to see the doctor, along with other people.
Somebody just commented, new viewer. Liberal talk. Wow, no thanks. I'm like, you need to listen longer, buddy.
Yeah, that's fine. That person can think whatever they want.
Obviously not paying attention.
Yeah. So they're and the
first time I've ever been called a liberal. I don't know about you. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I've been called that. So there is.
Wow.
And the people who have to travel hours and hours to get typical women's health care.
Yeah.
Because it is a huge problem. But that's our healthcare system in a nutshell.
And that's what it comes down to is she's arguing, but our doctors are afraid. I'm like, they're afraid because of you spreading that fear-mongering stuff about doctors getting prosecuted for doing routine treatment on pregnant women. It's not.
There is a disconnect. There's a major disconnect.
There's been no prosecutions under current Missouri law. There's not going to be.
Say that again.
Yeah, there's been no prosecutions under Missouri law.
There's been no prosecutions.
Did everybody hear that?
For routine treatment. Yeah, well, nobody's done it. Yeah, so it's fear-mongering, and you talk about the misinformation. It's all over the place. I was watching the football game, and I could not believe the misinformation from political ads.
Terrible. It's
from political
terrible.
Ads, presidential political ads.
Well,
they're just saying.
Perfect example is this guy who spent 30 seconds watching a show and has declared me me or one of us, a liberal.
Oh, it's probably you.
Probably. But seriously, that crap is the problem.
Yeah.
But I was getting ready to say the same thing, and I don't know the comment. Maybe it was a joke, or maybe it was just uninformed.
I don't think so.
But bottom line
I hope
is,
they're still watching. Come talk to me. You'll see how liberal I am.
that is the problem. Is that here I'm choosing not to just attack an overall issue. I want to talk about deception.
Yes.
So I'm not just calling out one side. I'm even calling out my Christian brothers and sisters who could do the hard work of saying, here's what I think it will lead to based on what the liberals, if you want to use that term, have done in the past.
And it's a fairly simple process to explain it.
Just have a conversation. So what I'm saying is, as a very conservative person, can we be intellectually honest? Can we have difficult conversations without immediately calling somebody a name like you liberal or you conservative or whatever? I just want to have real conversations, because there we might learn something from one another, and we might be more sensitive and we might humanize somebody.
And I encourage you to do it with the people you know.
Absolutely.
I encourage you to sit and have the tough conversations with the people you know and love, because that's the only way you can have
you bet, Beth.
an honest and be patient and be kind. I had one of those conversations over the weekend with someone I know who votes differently from me. It was a good conversation, and truly be open to why their opinion is their opinion.
That's the thing. A couple weeks ago, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who always votes left, and I come out of those conversations a more sensitive, caring conservative.
Yeah.
Because it's a reminder to me of how certain things are viewed when we say things a certain way. It's not that I have to change my stance or my beliefs. I just need to be kind in the way that I say it. And so sitting across from a friend who is, we'll say, liberal in certain ways, not completely, but she's a friend. She's a human, and it challenges me to be
and usually
more concise
she or
in
he
my
has
thinking.
those opinions for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, yeah. We do have to
I need
wrap
to
up
understand
the
their journey.
I've just been.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
important.
I would love to have some of those conversations. I've just yet to find anybody that's pro-choice willing to have the conversation about when does life begin, in an honest way.
Right.
Because that answers the entire, for me, and I think for most people that are pro-life, that answers the entire question.
Yeah.
Because every other scenario you come up with falls back on, are we committing a murder here? Are we ending a human life? And if the answer is yes, then we can't do that.
Yep.
Darren, that's a nice paragraph you got going on there.
We do. Darren's like, yeah.
Logical, yeah. Darren's on it too.
Okay, we do have to wrap up. I got to go meet somebody.
Over
But
time, but
please try to have conversations with people that are not emotional, out of control. Just sit down and talk to people,
And
understand their perspective. You'll be surprised. Sometimes you learn something.
And tune in next week for our Election Day special right here on the Morning Waffle. We'll be back next week.
So
Thanks for
special.
joining us.